What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the CFC DP YouTube channel, and I want to thank you so much for the unbelievable support that I've gotten in the first video that I put out. It's absolutely been amazing. I think that getting all this feedback, getting a couple subscribers has definitely boosted a little bit of my confidence and, allowed me to put this new banner up and whatnot, border or whatever. So it's really cool. And I'm really excited to continue to bring you content. I think it's super fun. I also think that, despite subscribers and likes and whatnot, I just think it's cool to be a part of the Chelsea community. Talking, tweeting, got added to a group chat with the Byline Avengers already. And I think that it's just been awesome to see how close this community can be and how often people want to chat about it, especially for a guy in over the States where, while football is growing, it's obviously not the number one sport. So anywhere I can talk about football, I'm so about it. So if you want to chat, want to drop a comment on the video, hit me up on Twitter. Please do so, and I'll be happy to chat with you. I just wanted to take a second to give a special shout out to Patrick Larson, who just has been amazing, especially this past month with his August of Awesomeness campaign that he's been running, highlighting certain content creators, just Twitter accounts in general, part of the Chelsea community, and he has been absolutely just unbelievable doing that. So I'm happy to say that I am going to have Patrick on the show next week. We're going to be doing an Aston Villa preview, so that'll be really fun. I'm excited to kind of pick his brain a little bit about what he thinks is going to happen, especially during the international break when we have obviously a whole roster full of internationals that are going to be gone and probably will be coming back a little late too. So we might need the guys that are not there to step in for that Villa game. So it's always a potential, but we will wait and see. All right, well, as you saw in the description, today's video is going to be about the transfer review. The transfer market shut August 31st, couple days ago. I would add a video to you earlier today, but my computer crashed, so I lost my whatever I was working on last night. So here I am, the second during the day here in the United States. Just going to give you a little review of it. So let's talk about the incomings. That one that went down to the wire was Saul. Saul from Atletico Madrid on a £5 million loan fee and a $30 million buy option. I think the option part was one of the things that was being held up by Atletico Madrid as they wanted an obligation, but Marina Granovskaya works her master class and she gets it with an option, which last time we did something similar to that was Mateo Kovacic, and it worked out absolutely fantastic for us. So hopefully Saul can do the similar thing for us, and I think that he is going to be a different profile of midfielder than we have. He's kind of a hybrid of Jorginho, Kovacic, and Conte. He can defend, can pass, can dribble a little bit. But I think what really separates him is his ability in the final third to get that last pass done or put a shot on net, which our other three midfielders aren't necessarily that good at. So I think Saul is going to definitely have a good time and perhaps be in contention to start some matches. And you truly have a four-man rotation now in that midfield as 2 6s. And I think that's where Saul is going to thrive with us. There was some talk, he played a little left wing back at Atletico, but I think that was Simeone just kind of filling a need for him, and you really saw his form decrease when he was not playing in his preferred position. So there's some players that can do that, and there's some players that can. I think Saul, if he needed to, could play left wing back, but since we have Alonso and Chilwell, I don't really think that's necessary at this time. So he's going to be in that middle position with those 6s, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. He obviously is at Cobham now that we saw on social media, and he probably might be in contention to play that Villa match just based off of availability. So we will see. And N'Golo Kante has left the France squad as well, so we may see a Kante and Saul midfield pairing for the Villa game perhaps, or at least see him get a few minutes. One transfer that didn't happen was Jules Koundé. I think Sevilla got a little greedy once they saw that Zuma check come in from West Ham, raised their price to $15 million. Kind of said, "Hey, is the release clause at nothing at some point?" And Marino was not willing to pay that, especially for a position that wasn't a need this transfer window, as I think they believe Trevor Chalobah can go in and do a job for them. And I agree completely. I think Trevor is more than capable of doing it. And even if you're not going to play him against your top 6 opponents, big games and whatnot, he's going to be really good against mid-table and low-table teams. So being able to rest a Reese, an Aspie, a Christensen, a Thiago, and be able to throw Trevor in there and not lose anything is absolutely massive. But we did see Trevor in the Super Cup against Villarreal, albeit it's a preseason, cup final. But he was able to step in, handle the role, and I think Tuchel's just really good at setting up his shop. So as long as the player doesn't make any massive errors, it's not going to be an issue. There's always going to be cover for him. And I think that's just what this system proposes for other teams. It's really difficult to break down. I also believe that Seville kind of screwed themselves because now Jules Koundé is not in communication with the club. He's pretty upset that they blocked his transfer to Chelsea when he clearly wanted to go. So Jules Koundé could be a possibility next window, or I guess in the winter as well. So that's something to definitely keep the eye on. Also, depending if we have injuries, it may press the matter even more. But when you make a net profit in a window like we did, you have that flexibility to be able to do such a thing. So finally, the linchpin of the whole transfer window was Romelu Lukaku, who obviously we've seen thus far and has been unbelievable as the center focal point of our attack. I'm just really excited to see what our 10s can do around him, 10s wingers, and with like Havertz, Mount, Ziyech, Pulisic. You're going to see a lot of creativity, but I think it's going to take a little bit of time for them to realize, hey, we have this center focal point and we need to use him because he's going to score goals for us and he's going to find opportunities for us as well. So being able to be flexible in those positions is absolutely huge. Lukaku has been really good thus far. And like I said, I just think that you're going to have to take about 5, maybe 10 games and really work it out in training. With the international breaks, it's hard, but there's not really a lot of training, especially once Champions League and Cup games get going. But we're going to see Lukaku thrive in this team, and it's going to be fantastic to watch. So I'm really excited about Lukaku. And then a little bit on the transfer outgoings this summer. You kind of had 3 outgoing groups. You had the loan group, the kick the can down the road group, so to speak, the selling of the deadwood, and the selling of the prospects. So obviously your loan army, the Ampadus, the Sterlings, what should have been Barkley, the Drinkwaters of the world. Just kind of keep kicking the can down the road and get those contracts off the book eventually, and keep the training pitches open for the first team players, I guess. Then you sold some deadwood, which was great. Zappacosta was gone, sold, so that was unreal. Unreal business by Marina to even get anything for him, so let alone $11 million. And then you're talking about the young guys, which a lot of these sales have buyback options on them, which is about twice of what they're going to pay us. So we're really, if we keep that money, so to speak, which we're not going to, but like Tino Andrin is $17 million and his buyback is 34. 17 times 2 is 34. So we'll only have to pay that 17 out of pocket, so to speak, for them to get back. And kind of the same with Tammy as well, and Gurhi and Livramento. So Livramento's a little bit more, but I just like that for them. I think it's like a really good loan where they can get comfortable, stick in one spot, and really focus on getting better day after day after day, and working for a manager that said, hey, I need this player here. I want to spend money on him. In a COVID market, I think that's really means something for these players. And if you are able to see them stay in a system, work on their form, continue to grow, and grow, you're going to possibly see a player that might fit that buyback mold that we could be interested in eventually. So that is absolutely good for them, Chelsea, to have those options and to get funds now to help fill the gaps of an already unbelievable squad that has just a bevy of young players in pretty much, all of their attacking options. Their defense has some young players, but it's getting up there. Their midfielders are getting up there. So you're going to need those guys potentially to come back. And I think some of them would be willing to, some wouldn't be. But only time will tell. So I know people like to give a grade on the window out of 10. I'd probably say 8.5. I mean, you got a top-tier striker. You got a really good rotational midfielder that's okay fighting for that fourth position. And I think the 1.5 would have just been Jules Koundé or potentially selling some of these lone army guys. But in a COVID market, you have to be a little bit understandable that teams across Europe are not going to be buying them. So it was a good window. It was a stressful window. I'm happy that we got the striker and the midfielder, though. Those were the two biggest options and needs for us looking forward. So just want to give, before I finish here, I want to give a quick shout out to the MKE Blues. That is my Chelsea in America supporter group here in Milwaukee. Awesome hats. So if you follow them on Twitter, MKE Blues, they'll put out when they're going to be selling all this stuff. It's a really cool logo, a really good group, one of the biggest growing supporting groups in the United States of America. So please check them out as well, and I'm excited to bring you some more content going on later next week. I'm going to do an Aston Villa preview, like I said, with Patrick, and then we're going to do, probably in the middle of the week, we'll probably do some FPL stuff, maybe some betting advice or whatever. I do that as well. So if there's anything that you want to see from me, feel free to comment, as I said, or follow me on Twitter, and you can reach me there. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day.